Hi, I'm Dr. Maz, and today I wanted to share with you a super simple and really effective technique that I often use with my cosmetic acupuncture patients. It's a great way to plump up the face and create a glow and work on any fine lines and wrinkles that might be there. And it's called Gua Sha or spooning. And to do spooning, we use the humble soup spoon. So just a few things to keep in mind before I show you the protocol for gua sha or spooning. When performing gua sha on your face, the idea is for it to feel firm but not uncomfortable. If you've had gua sha on other areas of the body before, your therapist might have gone quite firmly and created some marking on the skin, which disappears in a few days. This is not what we want with facial gua sha for obvious reasons, so go lightly but firmly. It should still feel comfortable. Another thing to keep in mind is to protect yourself against wind, air conditioning, or excessive breezy situations after performing gua sha. This is because the act of gua sha opens up the pores of the skin and makes you more vulnerable to what we call wind attack in Chinese medicine. So before starting gua sha on the face, you want to lubricate the skin or moisturize the skin with an oil to prevent drag or any tearing of the skin. So I like to use coconut oil, macadamia oil, or rosehip oil, which is particularly great for scarring and wrinkles in more mature skin. So after you've applied the oil all over the face and neck, we're going to start with the forehead. So scooping upwards, starting at the center of the forehead and working out to the edges. So you want to do this 30 to 40 times. If you have any fine lines across the forehead, now's a good time to work on those individually as well. I've got a few along here, so I'm just going to focus in on those to create a bit of micro trauma to increase collagen production and plump those up. And so ending at the outside of the forehead. And next we're going to scoop along the eyebrows. So each side you want to do 30 to 40 times. And ending at an acupressure point at the edge of the eye here. Next we're going to move to an acupuncture point just at the inner end of the eyebrow. You can use the other end of the soup spoon to provide a more direct pressure on this point. This is a great point for relieving stress in the face. It's very relaxing. And from here, if you have puffy eyes, you can also work underneath the eyebrow, scooping outwards, and also gently working underneath the eye as well. Always working in an outward motion and ending at an acupuncture point on the outside of the eye again. Our next step is to scoop underneath the cheekbones. Again, you'll want to do this, say 20 to 30 times. If you have any sinus issues, you can also work the area over the sinuses. This can be wonderful for opening up the nasal passages and relieving any congestion and any sinus headaches. So continuing to scoop up and ending just in front of the ear. You can flip the spoon around and use it to get into some acupressure points under the cheekbones. And this area has lots of acupuncture points, so not only will it tone the face, but it'll also have benefits for your whole body. So the points around here are great for improving digestion. So often I find after working on these areas, people's bellies start rumbling and they get a bit hungry. So scooping back out again, just before we finish with the cheek, there's an acupressure point here, just on the outside of the nostril. From here you can focus on working on any fine lines. I've got these little smile lines, so I like to work back and forth along those ones. They really plump up after a session of gua sha. Again, if you have any lines under the chin, now's a good time. You can spend sort of around a minute on each area that you'd like to focus on. Next, we're going to scoop out under the jawline. So perform that around 20 times. You can also scoop along the muscles of the jaw, which collect a lot of tension in expression and chewing, talking. And so from here, you've encouraged the collection of lymph from the face in front of the ear. So now we're going to encourage it downwards into the greater lymphatic circulation. So scooping down along the outside of the neck. This might start to go lightly rosy. Next, we're going to scoop out along the collarbone. And then underneath the collarbone and down the chest. So you should notice after performing Gua Sha on yourself that your skin will be lightly rosy and glowing. You'll probably get lots of compliments and people will ask what you've been doing differently. So just keeping in mind once again, avoiding wind, air conditioning and breeze for the first 24 hours after a Gua Sha treatment. You can do this on yourself several times a week. I like to do it at least twice a week to keep my skin looking glowing. So I'd love to hear how you go with it, and I look forward to seeing you next time.